We are here to profile our first Picolot release. Waiting patiently for us over there. It's one of the two Lomastis special lots we got this year. It's a very special coffee, competition style, loud, vibrant, lots of character. So we'll unbox and start roasting.
Okay, you got it?
It's
You got it?
It's quite large. I mean, for me to hold.
I can help you, you know. No? Okay, she got it.
Okay. So, yep, here it is. It's EGN Elita Gesha Natural ASD Anaerobic Slow Dry B2D
Lots of letters.
Bag 2 day dry or ferment aguacate lot.
And this is a banger of a coffee.
It's a banger.
So you cupped this
on his farm. I cupped like 40, 50 coffees with him this year. Back in June, when I was there for the BOP competition. And this stood out as the most unique lot of the 50 coffees I cupped. It's the kind that brewing competitor would be dying to get their hands on.
It's very expressive is what I would say.
Yes.
Even though, well, you know, we're gonna roast it and we'll taste it and we'll brew it and all of that. But I've definitely found like a lot of these ASD naturals to be very interesting. Okay, so Ji-yoon is getting all this coffee stuff ready. We are doing all of the roasting on this guy here. So this is the Stronghold S7X. And Ji-yoon is doing the roasting. I'm just here hanging out and showing you guys all of the really cool coffees. I will go and brew and show you guys how I'm dialing in some of these releases. But this is one of these like first releases of coffee where we're like, okay, I do think it could be a little ferment forward for some of you guys, but it is just fantastic. And I'm very excited to be sharing what we're doing with you all. And again, this is the first release, so it is, you know, it can only get better, right? I'd say. So I hope that you guys follow along and you see what other coffees we release, especially get on the email and we will email you guys all of the new stuff. But we're planning on releasing coffees quite fast.
All right, come smell this.
Oh, what is it? Okay, we're gonna go smell it. Wow, you can smell it from here. That smells like fruits. Wow. I mean, you definitely smell the fermentation. And what did you score this at, if you remember?
91.5. And that was also the average of all of Wolford's team scoring.
Wow, I mean,
And others.
Smells incredible. What is going to be fun for those guys who've been following along is this is brand new. So this is June's new roaster, and she is going to be doing the roasting. So we'll go and, you know, I don't know if we'll show you all of the roasting because I think you guys have seen enough roasting content, and roasting content is a little boring, but brewing is a little bit more fun. But we have a few batches to roast because of the first few of you who ordered. I really appreciate you guys for ordering. And yeah, it's going to be very exciting to taste the production. You know, we're tasting it very early, but I would say for those of you who picked up Ji-yoon's Black Honey Larita and Washed Larita, this is going to handle probably very similarly to that Black Honey, where you're going to need to let it rest for at least 2, 3, 4 weeks, and you can push that coffee quite hard. So that's the type of profile we're aiming for. Of course, that depends on what coffee, but very promising start to all of this.
All right, we just have to wait for the roaster
to
heat up.
Are you excited to
take
roast
about 5
this?
minutes. I'm really excited because going back to the cupping with Wilford, this one was screaming like ton of prune and just straight up muscat. So I'm excited to see how it shows up here in New York, on roasted on the Stronghold. The thing is, Wilford roasts all of his coffees that he cups. He has a big, I believe he has an S9 on his farm at his cupping lab. So I think the coffee that I cupped was roasted on a Stronghold. So I think the profile will show up in a similar way.
Yeah, and how would you describe your roasting style?
I
have my opinions, but
what is your opinion?
What is my opinion of your roasting style? It's I no. It's I. It's definitely, you know, the light, expressive Stronghold style of roast. So what I mean by that is I do think Stronghold acidity has like a linear effect. So I feel like Loring acidity is always like more apparent, more jumpy, vibrant. Stronghold roasts are like very harmonious and integrated, and I feel like that's what your roast tastes like. But there's an interesting thing with a lot of the, I would say, aromatics that are in the roasts that I do feel like some of the Stronghold roasts can be a little bit flat at times, but maybe it's the coffees you're sourcing as well, right, for this. I don't know. What do you think? Am I right? Wrong?
You'll see how the coffee shows up in your cup. For all of our Picolots, we're really trying to highlight and showcase the terroir as best as possible. So you're really getting the essence of the bean.
Yeah. And what I would say too on top of that is that, you know, it's light, but it's not painfully light, where I think you can veer into that painfully ultra light territory and it gets really annoying to brew, or you have to like put in a significant amount of effort to that. And I think for coffees that are at this price point and, you know, this level of coffee, you know, I don't want like the roast to be the barrier between you guys tasting the coffee, if that makes sense. Like if it's too dark, yeah, you're not gonna taste anything. But if it's too light, you know, it's just annoying, in my opinion, at least, to deal with. So these are generally all good to go after about 2 to 3 weeks. You don't need to rest it out for like 3 months, for example.
But the black honey and the Larita
they get better.
We tasted that was roasted on the Stronghold. I actually had the best brew of those coffees 3 months out. So it really depends on how you store it and how you're brewing.
Yeah, but there are like a lot of variables there. But I just think it's like when you go too far in one area, it's a little bit annoying to deal with. But that's why we'll have some of these brew guides and brew videos of brewing these coffees. I think like still for me, it's like, I think if you just do a good enough job at brewing, you'll get most of the details of the coffee, but the ceiling is very high. So that's the thing that we've observed with the Stronghold is the ceiling of what you can extract is very, very high on Ji-Yoon's roasts. Like you can push the coffees harder, you can use more transparent gear, and things don't fall apart, they just get better. You don't have to have like the 3 to 4K grinder, even though I know all of you guys do have the 3 to 4K grinder. Yeah, many of you guys. Coffee goes in the top on Stronghold. Got to get all those beans in there.
Right.
Wow, exciting.
Exciting.
If you guys do want to see us do like a full production roast, we can do that maybe at a later time, depending on, you know, what that coffee is. There are some really special coffees coming out that I think we will film some of that stuff, but really, we just want you guys to get the coffee out there and taste. I think a lot of that's going to come from brewing this time around. Like, okay, this is what we're experiencing when we actually try to brew the coffee. Excited?
Yeah, I am excited and curious because the last time I tasted this coffee was in June, and you know, we like to let the greens rest a little bit, so. I think it'll even be tastier cupping it today.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna brew it. You can cup it. We do both at the same time.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. We're gonna
put the beans in. There it is. The beans are inside, guys. See, the Stronghold spins this way instead of this way. Crazy. We've advanced technology here. What are you doing?
There was a little dust.
Oh. You're just...
That's the secret to my roasting. Rubbing the side glass.
Well, we're just going to be waiting around for a bit of time.
When I am roasting a new coffee for the first time, I really like to smell as it's progressing, and it's giving me more data points on how I should treat this coffee. So that's what you're seeing me doing.
Okay, Jiyun is roasting behind me. She's concentrating, so we need to be quiet and not mess things up. But it is incredible. Like, this coffee is very exciting. I am super happy to be able to present this to you all as our first release. It's been really fun to like release coffees out there into the world, but this is a little more formal of a thing because she has so many beautiful coffees over here, and we're going to curate kind of an experience of just really interesting coffees because we have access, or I have access, she has access to that roaster, but anything goofy that we'll do, you know, she's gonna be doing the roasting, and I trust her sensory on all of this. Of course, we're looking for a ton of feedback. If you guys, you know, write into the email, message us individually, message our Instagram, all of that, let us know what the coffees taste like. See the colors change. So Jiyun is roasting right now. She's finishing up. She's checking for her first crack over there. So you can see she's listening very closely to what's happening. But I'm super excited to be getting these coffees out there to you all. After we drop the coffee there, we will go and brew. But as you see, yeah, a lot of concentration. I'm trying to not bother her when she's roasting. She's adjusting the power, adjusting the settings, while also listening to stuff. It is
First crack.
first crack.
Smelling really floral. Woo.
There it is. Wow, that smells incredible. Wow.
I'm scared.
It's looking nice. It smells incredible. Looks good. That's a batch.
Woo. Now we'll grind and evaluate the fragrance. I'm actually stressed.
Are you okay?
I'm kind of stressed.
It's gonna be great.
Let's see.
What do you smell?
Muscat.
Muscat, okay.
It's loud. Woo!
Oh, wow.
You got it?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's really interesting. Right off of roast, it smells like that. It's really, really nice. Okay, so this is very promising. We're letting the beans cool down, and then while that's happening, I'm gonna get this set up here so I can do a bit of a brewing, and we can have brewing and cupping side by side. I'm gonna probably brew something on like Oria Z1 or something like that. So it'll give you a good idea of what the coffee tastes like, but seems like a coffee that's gonna need a few weeks of rest before it really opens up. Okay, I am going to now brew this. It is a little bit fresh, but we have some different brewers to experience. Now, of course, I know a lot of you guys are going to be brewing with something like a 98 flat and things like that, but I thought it would be fun. Let's try this together, guys, as we're going to use hand grinder. We're gonna use ZP6, and we will see what it's like for this. Wow. So of course, hard to tell because we're on video here, but that is light. I will say though that this is a fermentation forward coffee, so we do see the color, like this is pretty typical of fermentation forward coffees, especially after you roast them. Wow, that is pretty nice right there. Muscat, red, florals. That's, yeah, very pretty, but expressive. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna brew. So she can cup while I brew. I think brewing is more interesting, as you guys all know, but we're gonna whip out ZP6 and we're gonna do, what are we gonna do? We have a lot of choices of brewing in this Hacienda La Esmeralda bag.
You love
I love this tote
Italy
bag. Yeah, I want one now.
We'll get you one.
Maybe we'll do 2 brews.
Yeah, we can do that.
Do 2 brews. I will brew.
10 gram brews?
Yeah, we can do 10-gram brews on, especially on the Z1. So we can do taste what it's like if you push the coffee a little bit harder on zero bypass, and then something like a cone brewer, like the Mavo High Track, this one. So it should give us a good idea of how these coffees perform. And for those of you guys who ordered, we're giving you guys some of the non-wovens. So we'll do a non-woven in here. And I know a lot of you guys are brewing lower dosages now, like 10 to 15 grams. So this will work out. But we're gonna use really fast filters. And we're gonna use Z1 with the Cybris, also fast, very fast filters as well. And this should be a pretty good idea of what the coffee tastes like. And I think this will be fun. And for those of you who are on ZP6, a lot of the times my ZP6 settings are usually around 5.1 to, this 5.5 world. But for something like non-woven, I'm down closer to, I would say, the 3 to 4 range. But a lot of these coffees are quite forgiving, like they're very expressive. So as long as you're in the ballpark of actually extracting them, I think they will taste fine. But I think for a coffee like this first one that's a little more fermentation forward, at least smelling it, we can go to something like a 1 to 16, 16 and a half. I think if you stretch it a little bit too long, the intensity and impact is not as there, but it depends, of course, on your setup. I know you guys, if you guys have any questions on brewing and all of that, please just write in. On Z1, because I'm doing 10-gram dose, I'm gonna be down all the way about 4. Yeah, she's cupping because she has to do production, and I will have fun brewing. Wow. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay, what you're cupping it right now.
Yeah, it's a little too hot, but I got impatient.
What are you getting?
It's good. It's how I remember the coffee to be.
Okay, wow. I am excited. As much as I hate cupping, it's a good idea so we'll get Ji-yoon's feedback on it. I'll tell you what I think, of course, but then we'll also brew it because brewing is more fun, in my opinion. Wow, muscat, red, it's sweet. There's actually florality on this too, like a ton of florals on the end. It's very like pillowy, like super pillowy. That means it's gonna be fun to brew.
It's juicy.
Yeah, super juicy.
And I mean, we just roasted this 10 minutes ago, so imagine this resting for 2-3 weeks.
Yeah.
It's gonna be singing.
Wow. But it's intense. Like to me, this is interesting, right? Where it's like we could have went with a beautiful, classic, clean wash geisha, but that's kind of boring, kind of boring.
This is like geisha candy. You're like sipping on candy. And she tastes this.
Wow. This is very nice. So I'm going to now brew it. I guess I'll brew the first one on Z1. It's like...
Do you like it?
Red fruit candy, watermelon Jolly Ranchers, I don't know.
MJ knows what's up. As he's weighing beans. Here, I'm showing off Shakira.
You'll see that in a later video. So let's see. Let's do the Z1 brew first. So I'm doing 10 grams. So we're gonna bump this up to probably about 4, which will be a good starting point. Let's see how this shows up, and then I'm going to then brew on the Mavo here. So I got 4. Grind it up. So here we go. So this is we'll do the Z1 brew first. Wow. Yeah, I mean, this coffee just smells, it smells so good. Considering it is very fresh. So I'm gonna throw my 10 grams in here. For these more fermentation forward coffees, anywhere in that 94 to 95 Celsius world is going to be really, really strong. The thing that I'm observing, at least with the cupping here, is that there's an immense amount of sweetness. It's such a like round and layered and airy sort of sweetness, but it's quite intense. And I think the lower temperatures, and if you use my Z1 sweet recipe, it's gonna be really fantastic for this.
Honestly, I think it's tasting better here than it did on the farm. Maybe the greens resting, aging for a little bit is helping the coffee sing more.
Mm-hmm. So my kettle here is about 95-ish Celsius. The temperature is, I'm pouring from a hot kettle into here. So I'm going to brew this one to about 1 to 16. This is very fresh. So my Z1 sweet recipe, as you guys have seen, is to just dump a ton of water in it. We're going to adapt it to 10 grams here, and we'll see. Oh, it smells great.
It's so hard to smell on the Oreo.
You're smelling through a mellow drip. We'll brew it this way too, but I'm gonna let this really kind of open up. So we'll do 1 minute bloom, and we're gonna dump a ton of water in it. So this is gonna I'm gonna do 60 to, or sorry, I'm gonna do 10 to 160. So I'm gonna do 2 more pours. But this is 4 on the ZP6.
The UFO is playing a supporting role.
Yes.
Thanks, Jay.
It smells great. I mean, you can smell it all the way out here. And then I'm just going to pour this up to 165, give or take. Yep, 165. So our brews are about 2 minutes still, even on 10 grams. So that's what I was trying to adjust for there. Ooh, hey, I think the brew is
Wow.
probably going to be much better than cupping.
I can bring those cups.
Okay, so we're gonna taste this while I get this one ready, which is the Mavo. So I'm gonna go a little bit finer. Obviously, I'm running 10 grams, so very small doses. But I'm gonna go down to about 3.1 for the non-woven here. So definitely a bit finer. What do you guys think?
Wow, it's so tasty. It's like peach rings.
Peach rings, interesting. So this recipe is like usually super, super sweet. So I'm curious
Like
how that
strawberry
renders.
shortcake.
Strawberry shortcake, okay. You get so much flavor expression through brewing. So this is the one right here.
Prune.
Oh, wow, candy, strawberry candy. I mean, when I was cupping
candy.
it was like, I was saying watermelon Jolly Ranchers or cherry Jolly Ranchers. Like, it's so sweet. But this is not yeast fermented.
It's not.
But I get like very intense red fruits. There's still that kind of like layering, like that pillowy sweetness that's on my tongue. But there is acidity in here.
Ooh.
And that's what's really nice is, we're doing ZP6. Like, this is not that crazy high end of a setup where I'm able to push out so much of the detail in this coffee, what we were getting in cupping, but we're getting it in the brew.
I'm getting like grapefruit sparkles.
Let's save a little bit of that because that is the
To
Z1.
compare?
Yeah,
Okay.
this is the Z1 zero bypass sweet recipe, which I think that's why you get even more of that pillowy sweetness on your tongue. You get acidity underneath. The acidity and everything is very harmoniously tied together because that's what you get usually out of zero bypass brewers. So now we're going to switch over to something very different, which is your cone with the non-woven filters that some of you guys are getting with your orders. So we ground this much finer at 3.1. So I was at 4 for 10 grams. Although the Sybaris Fast are fast, this is going to be a little bit crazy to run. Still smells incredible. So we're going to brew with this guy now. Got my 10 grams in there. And again, kettle temp, I think even something like 92 to 95 is all pretty good. So we're going to dump 60 in here very quickly. I'm going to use the back of this for wet WET. Otherwise, I would suggest you use something like a Mellow Drip stir stick. But you can see how fast it is, even at 3 for something like that. Gonna let this still sit here for about a minute. Wow. Cherry, red fruit, candy, pretty good. So basically, same exact pouring pattern as I was doing for the Z1, except we now have switched to the cone, and we're on non-woven, so it's incredibly fast. Both of these brews were around 2 minutes. Obviously, I think you could go longer if you really wanted to. There is enough coffee for this release to play around with. Which I think is going to be quite helpful for those of you trying to dial in. But if you have your 10 to 12 to 15 gram doses dialed in, you for sure will have enough coffee to play with. Yeah, very different acidity presentation.
Very different.
So this, to me, is, because I was agitating at the beginning, sharper or more like intense acidity up front. We have the Z1 brew here. You can see they all look
so
similar, similar colors, but they should taste very different. Obviously, because we're using different paper filters. The non-wovens, I find, they do let more stuff through, so you do get a little bit more mouthfeel, but the dynamics are very different between. I actually think I like the Z1 brew here a little bit more.
I like the Z1 flat bottom.
Yeah, where it is already so sweet that the double sweetness recipe really, really pushes everything up, and you get a lot of those red fruit acidities underneath. It's really nice. This has the dynamic acidity up front with a lot of cleanliness, not a clarity. A lot of clarity. The Z1, on the other hand, so this is Z1. Z1 is like pillowy sweetness. There's harmonious acidity, whereas I do think this is this could be a little easier to taste, the cone, where the cone is really pushing up that acidity up front, and you get, I would say you get more texture, but that's probably due to the paper filters, whereas the Z1, everything is very harmonious, but sweetness forward. Let's also taste the cupping now that this has really, really cooled down.
So it's 30 minutes
wow.
mark. Yeah.
That's really opened up.
Yeah. I think definitely flat bottom for this coffee.
Flat bottom for this, yeah, or like zero bypass, things that emphasize sweetness and I would say depth and oomph to the acidity, so like fast flowing flat bottoms, zero bypass, I think are working a little bit better because at least when I'm tasting the cupping here, I'm like, there's this really pillowy sweetness and a lot of stuff there's a lot of intensity that I think will benefit from a more intense brew style instead of like a delicate V60, even though we try to push up dynamics in a V60. I think you want something that gives you a little heavier acidity presentation. That's all. That's the first release. we're very excited for you all to taste it. We have so many more coffees to share, and this is very promising. If you guys get this coffee in, please give us feedback, email us, let us know. But I'm very excited to see how this coffee opens up in the coming weeks. We have a lot more coffees. Our releases are very limited in volume. As you see, there's only so much that Stronghold can roast in there. So yeah, thank you guys, and we'll see you later.
Ciao.
Bye.